What's up, Dog Pound? Today, I want to start a little differently because this news isn't loud. It's not breaking news. But sometimes the quiet stories tell you the most about where a franchise really stands and what it may no longer be able to control. One decision, one college quarterback, and suddenly the future of the Cleveland Browns feels a little less stable than it did just weeks ago. Because with that decision, Shedeur Sanders has quietly been pushed into a position that recently felt very unlikely. This isn't about hype. This isn't about excitement. This is about scarcity. And when the NFL runs into a quarterback shortage, decisions get uncomfortable, especially for a team like the Browns. Let's get to the facts. Dante Moore, Oregon's quarterback and one of the top projected prospects for the 2026 NFL Draft, has announced he's staying in college for another season. That single move shrinks an already thin quarterback class even further. And that's where Cleveland enters the picture. The Browns are sitting at the 24th pick in the first round, and realistically, that puts them on the outside looking in when it comes to elite, top-tier draft quarterbacks. Not impossible, but highly unlikely. Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com summed it up perfectly. According to her, this decision is exponentially positive for Shedeur Sanders. With fewer quarterback options available, his chances of remaining the starter increase, even if the franchise hasn't fully committed to him publicly. Yes, there are other names being mentioned in later rounds: Carson Beck, John Mateer, Drew Aller. But let's be honest, those are gambles, not clear answers, not long-term solutions you feel confident about. And this is where the story really gets interesting, because the Browns never treated Shedeur Sanders like the guy. That's just reality. He started the final 7 games of the season. The team went 3-4. He threw 7 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Those numbers don't jump off the stat sheet, but context matters. This was a 5th-round quarterback playing on an unstable roster with constant change, constant pressure, and very little margin for error. He was learning on the fly and doing it in public. General Manager Andrew Berry acknowledged that growth. He talked about mental development, physical improvement, better reads, better pocket presence. But at the same time, Berry made it clear the Browns are still going to look at the market. And to me, that screams one thing: a split front office. They don't want to fully lock Shedeur Sanders in as the starter, but they also don't have a clear alternative. And now there's another layer to this: the next head coach. Whoever takes that job will inherit a complicated quarterback room. Deshaun Watson still under contract, Dillon Gabriel in the building, and Shedeur Sanders, who showed more than expected, but less than what you'd want from an unquestioned franchise quarterback. In my opinion, the mistake here isn't Shedeur Sanders. The mistake is structural. Once again, the Cleveland Browns are heading into an offseason without a clear plan at the most important position in the sport. I push back hard on the idea that Sanders didn't do enough. He did exactly what young quarterbacks do when there's no stability. He showed flashes, he made mistakes, and he learned right in front of everyone. What bothers me is the feeling that Cleveland is being forced into a decision instead of leading one. This isn't "we believe in Shedeur Sanders." This is "we don't have a better option." And historically, that has never been a comfortable place for this franchise. There are a few possible paths forward. One, the new head coach comes in, watches the tape, and says, "That's my quarterback." Develop Sanders, tailor the system, and move forward with conviction. Another scenario, the Browns bring in a low-cost veteran, create competition, and let everything play out in training camp. And the worst-case scenario? Forcing a quarterback in the draft just because they feel desperate, repeating the same old mistakes. None of these paths guarantees success, but all of them reveal something about who the Browns want to be in 2026. So now I want to hear from you, Dog Pound. Do you think Shedeur Sanders deserves to start next season? Would you rather see internal development or another outside gamble? And most importantly, Do you trust the next coaching staff to handle this situation better than the previous ones? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate is real and it matters. At the end of the day, this isn't just about a quarterback. It's about identity. It's about planning. And it's about whether this franchise actually learns from its own mistakes. Here at Browns News Today, we don't sell false hope. We analyze, we give our takes, and we feel it with the dog pound. If you're into honest conversations about Browns news, Browns rumors, and NFL updates, hit that like button, subscribe, and join the discussion. Because rooting for the Browns has never been easy, but it's always been real.